The Kriya is new lungs and circulation. And we'll also do some breath work, a breath of 10, and a little box breathing that I listened to on a podcast last night of another Stanford neurobiologist talking about the importance of box breathing. So let's sit up tall. Close your eyes. Begin to center yourself. Drop in, meaning we're trying to minimize external senses and go inside to that state called pratyahara. We're beginning to slow the breath. In Kundalini Yoga, all breath is through the nose, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. Allowing the nose hairs to warm the air, moisten the air, filter the air before it reaches the lungs. Also, the ancients believe that the nadis, the energy channels that connect to all the 72 meridian points in the body, are more quickly activated. The more quickly they activate, the more we spread prana and life force throughout the body. So breathe deeply, filling the lungs from the bottom. So you might place a hand on the lower abdomen. When you inhale, you feel your abdomen drop and expand into your hand. On the exhale, you can actually help a little bit by pushing into the abdomen to help push the air out. This is the proper way to breathe when you're sitting or standing. We breathe this way naturally when we lie on our backs in a supine position. Scan your emotions. What's your emotional state this morning, or whenever you're listening to the virtual recording? Do you have body sensations, meaning is there some place that feels more restricted or constricted? Whatever sounds are in your space, make them part of your practice. I'm in a hotel room, so you might hear some external sounds that you don't normally hear from my end. And finally, your thoughts. Where are your thoughts this morning? Every day it's different. And sometimes the same, because the thought patterns tend to loop. Ask yourself, is this a new thought I'm having? And is it my thought or someone else's thought? Let's bring our hands to prayer position for the opening mantra, the bookend of the Kundalini Yoga practice. The Ong, NG, top of the mouth, let the soft palate vibrate. Ong, Namo vibrates again. Guru Dev vibrates more. Namo, more vibration through the soft palate. I'm bowing to that creative spark inside of myself. I'm honoring it. The second time we chant it, we're honoring it for each other in the virtual space. And the third time, it's for the greater world. 3 big inhale exhales. Adi mantra. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Those mantras help slow down the heart rate, slow down the breath. So we sing those syllables all in one breath. Helps you elongate the breath as you're chanting. So let's open the eyes. Good morning, Ann Lindsay. And come up to standing. As you know, Janet McKinley and Melanie Carson and Susan Calander, we're all taking this functional yoga anatomy course. So we're learning about body anatomy in a functional way, specifically with yoga. So we're standing tall. Let's review this, the feet. So I'm standing about hip width distance apart. I feel my heels, the calcaneus bone. On top of that sits the talus bone. The talus bone actually can rotate a little bit. So I'm feeling my heels, feel the calcaneus bone. Spread all 10 toes, spread them long. Maybe you pick them up and then spread them. See if you can get some space between the toes, also called your phalanges. The bones behind the toes and the arch are called the metatarsal bones. So that whole meaty part of the foot is called the metatarsal. So behind the big toe on the ball of your foot is the metatarsal bone. Ground to that bone. Feel that bone behind the big toe. Then try to feel the baby toe, the metatarsal bones that would be behind the baby toe on the ball of your foot. That's your tripod. Heel, metatarsal bone, and the baby metatarsal bone. So the big toe, metatarsal, and the baby toe. If you want to feel your arches, the easiest way is just pick up your toes. As you pick up your toes, your arch lifts, right? So put them back down. We've also studied pronation is when the arches fall flat, maybe the feet fall in, it even brings the knees in. So see right away, the knees are out of alignment with the feet. If we supinate, we're standing on more on the outside of the foot, the lateral side of the foot. There's a cuboid bone down there that's a grounding bone for us. So bring that feet back to normal. Lift the toes again so you feel that arch. We want to try to avoid excessive pronation, which is when the arches are falling. So we can help lift the arch by lifting the toes. The quadriceps help lift the arch. Just try to be conscious. Where is your alignment with your feet, knees, and hips? Let's move into a warm-up called a full body embodiment. We've been doing this week, so I'm going to do it today for the recording. So you're grounded with your feet on the floor. I think you can see my feet. So pick up the right foot and place the toes on the mat. So the top of my toes are on the mat. It's going to feel strange. and then try to do a few rounds. I'm just trying to massage the top of the foot on the mat. I can hold on to this bureau here, so it makes it really easier, but most of you are standing in your room, so you might be most grounded by grabbing your waist. Make sure that left leg is really strong. Now just step down onto the foot so you're feeling the toes as you're stepping down on it. Now try to lift that foot up and roll it around. Roll the ankle around. Go both directions. Dorsiflexion, draw the feet, the toes towards the knee. That's called dorsiflexion. Plantar flexion, when the toes point down, stretch away from the joint. Dorsiflexion, two joints are coming together. Plantar flexion, the two joints are moving farther away. Now tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Feel the knee bone, how the knee can move in circles, and it also can move in this lateral medial direction. Lateral away, medial towards center. Now we take the whole leg. Janet Stone refers to this as stirring the batter. Feel how strong your left leg is too. It's having to really engage from the pelvis all the way down to the feet. And take the foot down, shake it out a bit. We'll move to the other side. So just take the foot, the top of the feet, stretch the toes out on the mat. Again, it feels kind of strange. Maybe you can do some turns. You're stretching out all the bones in the top of the feet. Then I step down on my toes. I get that feeling. Now my right leg is really engaged. I lift up this left leg. Let's do some rounds. Feel how the ankle can turn in circles. I'm going to dorsiflex, pull the toes back towards the knee. Plantar flexion, take them down, toes pointing down. Up, down, up, down. So good for the ankle joints. Massaging the feet, really. A few more ankles turns. Let's do the tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Good for our balance too. Just lost it there. Now let's take the whole leg. We're stirring the pancake batter this morning, both directions. Now take it down. Bring the knees together. For those of you who snow ski or used to snow ski, remember how we have our knees close together? You're going over the moguls. The knees have this incredible flexibility to absorb shock. Your hips are getting involved, the pelvis, the ankles are moving. All muscles and ligaments attach from bone to bone. One bone is stable. That's called the bone of origin. The bone that has to move is called insertion. You can do your circles. Now take the feet about hip width distance apart and try to draw some oval circles. You're drawing it with your pelvis. They're not big movements, it's pretty small. Imagine that you're right below your pelvic floor, you're drawing an oval. That was the word I couldn't think of yesterday for a cue, oval. Feel how the Hips and pelvis are getting engaged. We not only work on mental clarity, we're working on physical clarity. Do I know my body? Do I know what it's like to be in my body and be able to identify specific parts of it and the whole? All the parts make the whole. Okay, moving up. Bring your hands to your shoulders. Now this is the one where this is all stable from the base down. The top is moving, the top half, but the bottom is stable. So I'm just trying to move, swift my elbows from side to side. Trying to keep my pelvis centered and stable. My hips are stable. You're really isolating the movement. Mobility on stability. Come back to center. Now the hands are out. Then take the palms to the ceiling, bring the elbows back. It's like you've got two trays. So on the tray, let's have some dry cereal. So if it spills, it doesn't matter. And you're just trying to take these trays up over your head, all around. You're opening up your shoulders. Try to keep the palms flat, dorsiflexion. The two joints are closer together, right? Really getting some stretching. Take the trays over your head. Keep the palm up so you can hold the tray like a food server would. Okay, take this back to center. Grab your elbows. We're going to pretend that we're taking our shirt off. This really is a great exercise. I did it yesterday away from the class. So if we're taking our shirt off, our arms would come over our head, our elbows would be holding each other almost, right? And then we would lift it off. So just practice taking your shirt off, alternate arm in front. Big shoulder openers. Shoulders really have to open to take the shirt off. Big inhale up, exhale down. Now we're going to roll the shoulders. So arms are at my side, shoulders coming forward. We've done this in other Kriyas. And reverse. Maybe a few shoulder shrugs. Just inhale up, exhale down. Feel how the shoulder, part of the appendicular, part of the human body attaches. Now, this is a great one. I take the right arm out and I dorsiflex. So I'm pushing against the wall. The palm is flexed back, fingers flexed towards my body. You really feel this stretch in the forearm, right? Then I take my head to the opposite side, to the left side. Wow, I can feel that stretch in my forearm. If you want to add on, you can trace the collarbone, the clavicle with your chin. So they're little quarter circles. Head down to the left shoulder, trying to trace the clavicle with my chin back up to center. I'm still holding that right arm out. It's like I'm pushing against the wall with my palm. We know these are meridians for the colon in the forearm. So the colon's getting some stimulation now. Okay, take it down, take the other side up, flex the hand, dorsiflexion. It's like I'm pushing against the wall. I feel that forearm and under the arm. Engage. Take the head to the right shoulder. Really feel it stretch out now. Maybe you can trace the clavicle. Inhale coming up. Exhale going down, the chin's tracing the clavicle, collarbone. You can close the eyes while you're doing this. And now float that hand down, take both hands out straight, make a fist, and then shoot the fingers out. Inhale, exhale. Fist, shoot the fingers out like stars. All 5 fingers spread. Feel the energy leaving the body. Maybe open the mouth on a big exhale. We don't do that too often. Now draw the elbows back and be a DJ. So you're spinning the record. The palms are flat, going side to side. Feel that motion where you can just move the hand. The wrist stays pretty much, and forearms stay in place. And you're just moving the hand side to side. Now let's do the plantar, dorsiflexion up, plantar flexion down. It's like you've got 2 paws. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Aren't all these joints just fascinating? What they're able to do? Now, you can make big circles with your wrists and your fingers. Get them all moving. Now we're going to bend the knees. I watched her video yesterday again to try to understand this better. She calls this her wave. So her arms are kind of hanging down, and then she comes up like in this waving motion. I'm still kind of finding my way in it. My knees are bent. I'm trying to almost do a cat-cow standing. You really fully engage the thoracic spine, really the whole spine. And now come to standing. Big toes touch for your final Tadasana. Big toes touch, heels slightly separated. Unless that doesn't feel good for you, you can have your toes a couple inches apart. Feel all 10 toes on the mat. Feel your heel, that calcaneus bone, the metatarsal bone behind the big toe. Try to feel the metatarsal bone behind the baby toe. Lift the heart. Draws the back of the head over the lumbar spine. Bring your hands to prayer position. This is your home plate. Thumbs are pressed into the sternum. Let's open our eyes and begin the practice. That was a full embodied warm-up from Janet Stone's Harvey Deutsch's anatomy course. Okay. This is new lungs and circulation Kriya. I'll set my clock here. This opening is 5 minutes. The mudra is a thumb and baby finger touch, 3 fingers open. This is I'm bringing the arms up over my head, big circles. You may be feeling it in the shoulders this morning if you did class earlier this week. I'm inhaling up, exhaling down. My feet are firmly planted. So I've got my stability and I'm creating mobility on top of the stability. Everybody looks great, really good form. Elbows are straight. They don't necessarily, well, I guess they are almost locked out. The goal is to keep the arms really straight. Connect to your breath. Big inhales through the nose, exhale through the nose. Over the next hour, try to refrain from any mouth breathing unless instructed to do so. We're halfway there. 2.5 minutes, 2.5 more. You can close your eyes. That way you focus on balance, really feeling the tripod of your feet. Where is your arch? Is your arch lifting or does your arch feel like it's flat on the mat? Do you have an instep? If you try lifting your toes while you're doing this, what happens to your instep? What happens to your arch? The lungs are getting a workout. So's the heart. We want the heart working at different rates. We just don't want a resting heart rate all the time. We want it moving up and down, different rates of speed. Ultimately, we want a low resting heart rate. That indicates our fitness. Last minute, make it really a good form. 30 more seconds. Big breaths. Inhale, bring the arms up. Stretch the fingers towards the ceiling. Big inhale, hold the breath, squeeze the bandha, squeeze anus, sex organs, pull navel towards spine. Holding the breath. And release. Float the arms slowly down. You can just walk out the legs, stand and rest for 30 seconds before we begin the reverse direction. Shake out the body. Those are so good for the shoulders. How are you feeling? Okay, this mudra, the thumb goes inside the fist. We reverse direction, this time though only for 3 minutes. I'll set the clock. So I bring my arms up to about shoulder width to start. Then to reverse, I go back and around, back and over. This side has a little more constriction, at least for me it does. Doesn't feel quite as open in reverse. I'm inhaling as I draw the arms back, exhaling as they come down. Big breaths. That's what will release endorphins. We all want that sense of well-being. We want a sense of minimizing stress, activating the parasympathetic nervous system. In that podcast that Tarun sent me from Professor Huberman, the Stanford neurobiologist, he was saying that one of the reasons we like to eat, especially carbs, is that it sets off the parasympathetic nervous system. It takes the vagus nerve a while for that to kick in, but that's one reason we like to eat, and especially carbs. But the breath activates your parasympathetic nervous system much more quickly, and you won't gain weight. Just one more minute. You're doing great. I'll send you that podcast after class, or I'll attach it to this Kriya for the website as well. "15 more seconds. You're doing so great. You have good mental focus, good mindfulness, beautiful form. Inhale up, stretch the arms to the ceiling. Try to reach the ceiling, big inhale, let's hold the breath. Unless you're on moon cycle, menstrual cycle, close the eyes, squeeze the bandhas, and release. Shake things out before our 4 minutes of hari. It's H-A-R, R like the Spanish R, so it's just slight trill, har, har, which means yay, whoa, wow. Hari, Haree, Hari. That's, I think, translates like the divine. So I'm going to bend my knees. I'm going to go down and clap 7 times. That's the har, 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 7 times. Then I'll come up and clap Hari. So really get into it. Use the Sanskrit. It's a vibrational language. 4 minutes. You can stay with me or do it at your own pace. My feet are about hip width distance apart. I have a good stable base. I'm going to bend my knees when I come down to protect the lower lumbar spine. And let's begin. Har, 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 har. Hari. 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 Only 90 more seconds. You can do it. Stay with it. You're doing great. Hari. Har, 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 har. 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 Hari. Last minute. Har, 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 har. Hari. 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 Float the arms down. Close the eyes. Feel your beating heart. It should be pretty fast. Observe your physical clarity, your body awareness. Feel your stable base through the tripod on your feet, coming up your ankles, up the tibia and fibula, the two bones of the lower leg, then coming into the knee and feeling the femur bones, quads, hamstrings, coming into your pelvis. Lift your heart, shoulders are relaxed, face is relaxed. It's a mirror of the mind. Observe. Feel your 10 toes. They're like little antennae, like my octopus teacher, except she had 2,000 suction cups, which are part of her brain. The only external part of the human brain is in the eye to sense danger. So that's how your sympathetic nervous system kicks in. One of the ways. Okay, let's come down. What Kriya would be a good Kriya without some core work, right? So this is pretty straightforward. I'll sit with my hands. I'm a little crowded for space here. It shows you can do yoga anywhere, right? Look what I have, like 3 feet by 10 feet. It's all I need. So my palms are flat on the mat. Behind my hips gives me greater leverage. So we just do 2 30-second bursts. So we'll inhale up, exhale down, try to keep the legs straight. And if you can't do it straight, Susan Colander was saying yesterday, I just asked her, just bend your legs then. Okay, I'll set the timer. Let's go. 30 seconds. Inhale up, exhale down. Ten more seconds. You're doing great. Your cores are all strong. And down. For the resting pose, I like to come into Dandasana, D-A-N-D-A-S-A-N-A. Feet are flexing, so flexion, dorsiflexion, drawing the toes back towards the knees. My palms are engaged, pushing down right beside my hips. So my shoulders are engaged, chest is engaged, biceps, triceps, forearms, legs are engaged. Staff pose. Now let go. One more 30-second burst. Inhale up, exhale down. You're doing so well. I can tell you're all regular practitioners, so your core is really getting stronger. Also protects your lower lumbar, you know. Okay, let's go. Big breathing through the nose. Big inhales, big exhales. Halfway there. Four, 3, 2, 1. Oh, wow. Let's draw the knees in towards the chest. Take the arms, have the knees in the creases of the elbows if you can. Really stretching everything in tight. Maybe your forehead will come towards your knees. Okay, one more core, 2 30-second bursts. This one I think is actually a little easier. The hands are back in the same position. My fingers are forward, palms on the mat. This is one where we just raise and then do a scissor kick, a crossover kick, and then we'll do the same thing with our arms. So we're really moving around the prana, the 8th chakra. Let's go. I'm kind of doing a breath of fire here. Forced inhale, forced exhale. Well, forced exhale, inhale's automatic. And down. Oh, maybe take the fingers, point behind you. Try to slide the arms back, opening up the shoulders. You can take the face back, point the toes. So you're getting a nice stretch here while you rest a little bit between bursts. These are nice anaerobic bursts for the heart, where we increase the heart rate for a short period of time. Okay, let's come back. Just 30 seconds. You can do it. Then we're on the downhill side of the Kriya. Okay, let's go. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wow, you did it. Come around to a seated pose. Wow, we've had a lot of standing today. I love it. Almost an hour. That's unusual because, as you know, most Kundalini's on the mat. Okay. Come into your easy pose. I'm in a half lotus because I have my knees have released. I can get my foot up here. Okay. We're mimicking what we just did with the legs. We'll do with the arms. So my arms are just out, shoulder width. And we begin the crisscross for 1 minute. Breath of fire. Forced exhale through the nose. Inhale's automatic. Try to have them be about the same sense of pressure. Try to keep the arms straight, elbows straight. And down, bring the hands to Gyan Mudra. Sit tall, lift the heart. Let's do a little bandha work. Big inhale. Hold the breath. Unless you're on moon cycle, menstrual cycle, then long, deep breathing. Squeeze root chakra, pull navel towards spine. Lift the heart, dip the chin, and release. Just observe for a moment. Thoughts, emotions. You are 51 minutes into the practice. Do you feel differently than when you began? Now come forward into a closed-legged child's pose. I like to bring my head to my blankets because my head doesn't quite come to the mat comfortably. You could bring it to a pillow, a block, or maybe your forehead comes all the way down. That's great. So my forehead is down, my arms are at my side, palms to the ceiling. And I do 60 seconds of breath of fire. Forced exhale through the nose, inhale automatic. Now just a few seconds, stay on your child's pose of long, deep breathing. If you're uncomfortable with your knees close together, you could make a wider stance child's pose so the knees could come a little wider if that's not comfortable for you. Now we're going to go into the yoga mudra, the one I call the Susan Calandra. We interlace the arms behind us, and the goal is to bring the arms up to 12 o'clock with the interlaced fingers. So it's inhaling up, exhaling down. So we're actually, a lot of times we're just static in this pose with the arms raised, but this time we're actually moving them up and down. They might only come up 3 or 4 inches. You might get full clearance all the way up to 12 o'clock. That has to do with the release of the shoulders. We're going for 1 minute. So about 30 more seconds. And take it down. Just let the arms come beside you. Just be in a tight-legged child's pose, or you could take the knees wider, a wider child's pose. Just rest here for a moment. And let's make our way up to a seated position. Our breathing meditation today is called Breath of 10. The elbows are comfortably beside the body. So my feet are about, body width apart. I'm going to clap, but I don't actually touch. I almost touch. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I do 4. When you do 5, it's 5 claps. So 5 inhales and then 5 exhales. All the breath is through the nose. So I'm adding on. So I try to get 5. It's like sucking the air through a straw. So you do 5, like 5 sips on the milkshake. And then 5 exhales through the nose. And we're doing this with the claps. Becomes quite meditative. We'll go for 5 minutes. So you're sitting up tall, make sure you're comfortable. You can always move your legs about so that your base stays calm, relaxed, and comfortable. So the sthira is here, the sukham, the relax, all this lower part, sukham is relaxed, this is engaged. So sthira and sukham, a more advanced cues in yoga. As the more experienced you become, you can isolate parts of your body. So the lower parts relax, the upper parts engaged. You learn how to separate and compartmentalize. Okay, let's begin. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Close your eyes so you can really concentrate on your breath. The 5 inhales through the nose, then 5 exhales through the nose. Can you begin to feel some energy between your hands? Relax the lower body. We're halfway there. Good focus, everyone. Last minute. You're really developing mental clarity, connecting to your intuition. Inhale. Take the hands, place them over your face. If you're not comfortable putting them on your face, put them on the sides of your face. Push into your face. Continuing to breathe. Now interlace the fingers, push into your solar plexus, your third chakra. Just push in, continuing to breathe, but really pushing in with some force. We conclude pushing into the heart chakra. Interlace fingers, just push into that fourth chakra, the seat of the pranavayu. The prana lives here in the heart and lungs. Its source point in the body. The true source point is the universe. When that life spark animates us with life on our first breath, and when that life spark leaves on the last breath. Now take the hands down to Gyam Mudra. I want to take you through this box breath that Professor Huberman talked about. I'll call it out. I'll also use the breathing app. So it's going to be a 4-second inhale, a 4-second hold, a 4-second exhale. I'll call them out. So you're going to be inhaling 4 seconds through the nose, exhaling, holding. So let's begin. Inhale, hold, exhale, 4 seconds. Inhale, hold the breath, exhale. Now hold 4 seconds. Hold, hold, hold. Inhale, hold, exhale. Inhale, hold, exhale. Now an added hold at the bottom of the exhale. Repeat. Inhale, hold, exhale, inhale, hold, exhale. Now comes the added hold at the bottom of the exhale. Hold the breath. Inhale, hold, exhale. Inhale, hold, exhale, added hold now. Hold. Now inhale, exhale just normally. That's a breathing pattern we could use to train our bodies to absorb more carbon dioxide and hold our breath longer. The brain has to be taught that it can function with higher levels of carbon dioxide in the body. Now lie onto your backs for a 7-minute Shavasana. This is your time. Let everything go. Maybe the most important posture of the day. I'll bring you back with the bell. Begin to breathe together. Inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, exhale. Let the parasympathetic nervous system know to relax even more with the audible sigh. One more. Begin to turn the wrists and the ankles. Just move them around clockwise, then counterclockwise. They move into each other. Take them in both directions. Then take the arms over the head, interlace the fingers, steeplechase mudra, point the toes, feet together, extend the spine and all the vertebrae, all 34 vertebrae and discs. Breathing into them like they have a little lung, 2 lobes of a lung on each disc. So you have 68 additional lungs. You could draw the knees towards the forehead towards the knees, come into a ball, compress the spine. And then rolling back and forth on the spine. Maybe you can massage it with some spinal rolls up and down the mat. You can also roll horizontally on the sacrum. I see Pablo doing that. Rod's gone into a spinal twist, taking his right knee over the left. His left arm is up behind his head, stretching like a cat. So is Melanie. Make sure you do both sides. You could go into a happy baby. Maybe you even have the flexibility, the hamstrings will stretch and you can take the legs long. They stretch out fully. You can even take the legs closer together. We did that in the Kriya last week. You can go a modified pigeon pose, where you take the left ankle on top of the right knee, interlace your fingers behind the right hamstring, or you can hold onto the top of the knee. It's a more gentle pigeon pose. You can also bring the soles of the feet into the body for a hip opener. Rod has his hip opener with his feet on the mat, but Pablo has his feet raised up and he's massaging the soles of his feet, as is Maria and her hands, stimulating all the nerve endings in the hands and feet. Do any last minute stretches that you need to do before you make your way back up to a seated position. Sitting up tall. Lifting the heart. When we lift the heart, it pulls the back of the head over the lumbar spine, giving your spine a really tall, wonderful alignment. Throughout the day, as you're moving about, consider your alignment. Are my shoulders aligned over my pelvis? Is my pelvis over my knees in alignment with my ankles? Are my feet pronating? Are my arches falling? Or can I try to lift my arches so I have a little more arch support? Bring our hands to prayer position. Thank you, Rodney, for being here. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Pablo. Thank you, Roberta. Thank you, Melanie. Thank you, Mimi. Thank you, Roberta. Thank you, Ann Lindsay. We close with the longtime sun, our prayer of protection, that we're always walking in love. We're guided by a higher intention, by our highest and best self. It's as constant as the sun, the moon, the tides. And at the same time, life is temporal. Life is temporary, especially this physical body. Let's sing together. May the longtime sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on, guide your way on, guide your way on. 3 long sat, short nams. Sat nam, sat nam, sat nam. We bow to each other and we say Sat Nam.